Good afternoon, wherever you are. It's afternoon here in Olathe, but we want to welcome you to our Masters of Agribusiness Animal Health Cohort webinar. In a moment, we'll hear from Deborah Cole, who's the program coordinator, and Paul Cassidy, who's also working in the program, with more information for you all. I wanted to let you know my name is Lauren Vaughn, and if you have a question about the Olathe campus or you're in town and you would like a tour, feel free to reach out to me directly, and I'm happy to do that. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to Deborah and Paul to share more about the program, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Lauren, and thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm Deborah Cole, and I've had the pleasure of serving with the MAB program for the last 7 years. I do have with me today Mr. Paul Cassidy, Executive in Residence at K-State Olathe, to help me share some of the exciting new developments with our Animal Health Certificate. Over the 7 years, I've had the opportunity to interact with leaders as I've been involved with the Master of Agribusiness program. We've met with quite a few people at a number of different companies across food, agriculture, and animal health. And as we have met with them, we've discussed some of their biggest employment needs and challenges. Partnerships are not new. Partnerships like this between academia and industry are not new, and they're not novel. They've been in place since education began, but we've seen a shift in perspective within the last few decades as many of the firms that we work with have realized that the individuals they employ are some of their most valuable resources. As firms have entered into the multinational stage, talent management and development has become more costly and complex. And when a firm identifies an employee that they want to groom for management and advancement, they want to make sure that they're investing wisely in that individual. One of my favorite stories to this end involves a CEO and a CFO discussing their succession planning process. The CFO asks, what happens if we invest in developing our people and they leave us? To which the CEO replies, what happens if we don't and they stay? Clearly, a company and a firm is better off making the investment in their most important resource, and that's you. And to that end, you have a responsibility to develop your own skill set to put yourself in the best position to be an asset to the company, either the one that you're with or the one to which you want to go. The MAB program was created in 1997 to help grow talent in food, agriculture, and animal health across the state of Kansas and beyond. Our first cohort launched in 1998, and more than 500 students have participated in the program over the last 20 years. We were the first distance degree program in the country, focused on the business and economics involved in managing production agriculture, food, and animal health companies. We're not an MBA, and we're not an MS in Ag Econ, but we are a professional degree program that's aimed at training managers for peak performance in one of the most rapidly changing industries today. Our students come from a variety of different backgrounds. Some of them have a scientific background and are looking to learn more business and management skills. Others have solid business training but are not familiar with the supply chain or networks involved in our sectors and want to learn how to do business specifically in our target industries. Others come to us grounded in production agriculture but need the business background to make a positive impact in their companies or operations. And still others have a DVM or some other advanced training but realize that they need to brush up on their business or computer skills to lead their company well into the next few years. As we've polled our over 500 students, they've indicated that one of the most important ingredients on the academic side of the equation for them with this program is that its students are vertically integrated. In any of our cohorts, you can find students who represent a variety of ages and relationships to their companies from all across the globe. In 2012, a series of stakeholder meetings were held in the animal health corridor, identifying the resources that companies located in that area would need to be successful. Employee development was an important piece of that puzzle, and companies indicated they would need employees who had a good grasp on the dimensions of the animal health in the industry from a global perspective, including dynamics around conducting business on a global scale and in various economic environments. The complexity of the industry is increased by the regulatory environment, which you all know because that's where you sit. And we pledge to address some of this complexity and the different skills folks would need to serve well in the animal health area with a new cohort of our MAB program that we launched in 2013. The Olathe Animal Health Cohort is tailored to meet the needs of our students who work in the animal health sector. The course materials address current issues, and the company can have input into projects and deliverables. Our coursework is designed to allow our students to continue to be valuable employees, serving their companies well while they complete their program of study with us. The track record of success should be important to any firm or individual looking to recommend a program to its employees. We're not a case study driven program. The majority of your projects and homework will come from the actual company in which you work. When you're interviewing for your next position or for a promotion within the company that you currently serve, and you're asked to provide an example of how you solved a problem or made an impact somewhere, you're not going to cite a case study from someone else's company that doesn't relate to your industry. What we do with the MAB will allow you to give specific examples of work that you have done either within your company or for another area of industry that you're working in right now that you can claim credit for. We have had some students who have looked at different testing methods within their current labs, looking at optimization models. We've had students who have redesigned the supply chain for their current companies to the tune of $104,000 a month in savings for that company. And you can understand that pretty quickly that ROI racks up and has benefited those students pretty quickly. One of the pieces that sets our program apart is that we are cohorted. Students do come to campus for 2 weeks out of every year, and these face-to-face sessions are really important to us. We consistently hear that feedback from our students. Students in the animal health cohort will be meeting at our K-State Olathe campus, which this is a group of them pictured here at that location. I do want to just talk to you a little bit about the full degree, which is the full degree bearing MAB Animal Health Cohort, and then we're going to transition into an exciting new opportunity that we have for you to consider beginning this fall. The full Animal Health MAB degree is a 2.5-year program consisting of 42 credit hours. As part of the program, you would make a trip to our Olathe campus, 4 times total in the program, 2 times each year, and you will also complete a comprehensive thesis project. We are, as I mentioned, a thesis-bearing program, which does provide a more comprehensive opportunity for you to apply the skills you've learned in the program to develop real solutions for your company. I mentioned that we do have company input into a lot of those thesis projects. We have a very good track record of working well with companies to maintain confidentiality. All of our faculty members and staff are comfortable working within the auspices of an NDA. And that really allows the research done with our MAB program to make an immediate impact on the companies for which our students work. This is, as I mentioned, not a case-driven program. We really want our students to be able to make themselves more valuable to the specific company in which they are employed. This is the schedule for the animal health cohort each year. You can see it does begin in August, so upcoming in the next few months. We do, however, have some flexibility with the sequencing of courses in the MAB if an August start isn't the right fit for you. We do have some additional courses that you would be able to start, in the spring if that were better, that would apply toward the MAB program. I'm going to step aside for just a few minutes and let my colleague, Mr. Cassidy, speak a little bit about the Animal Health Management Certificate we're launching this fall.
Thank you, Deborah. It's a great opportunity to share this exciting development with all of you today. First, briefly on who I am and my background. I'm a non-traditional academic. I joined Kansas State about 2 years ago, coming from a 35-year career in the animal health industry, where I was primarily in commercial operations and ended up in senior leadership positions that took me basically around the globe. I was in Merck Animal Health for over 22 years, and then lastly with the Mariel Animal Health business, which is now Boehringer Ingelheim for 5 years as in a senior position. Throughout my career in animal health, I've been in leadership positions requires you constantly to address the talent and talent development needs of your company. And many of you who are in the early stages of your career are trying to figure out how do I help myself and develop myself to take broader, stronger, more responsible positions of leadership within your organization. We've been working with the Masters of Agribusiness faculty to really address a very specific need, which is the Animal Health Management Certificate. And what this is designed to do is put together a group of courses that really address specific needs to help you lead in the animal health world and prepare you for broader roles of responsibility. We talk about the general functions of business management, which includes economics and finance and organizational management. We also include key areas that are relative to the animal health space, which one is regulatory, which you cannot effectively operate in the animal health space without having some good understanding of the regulatory space. So it's important that you gain some appreciation, not an in-depth appreciation, but at least a cursory overview of the different regulatory authorities. We also have been developing and will be launching a new course called Sales and Marketing in Animal Health. And that is a course that's, again, taking the basic content you find in marketing and sales strategies and then applying the context of animal health to allow the student that goes through the program to hit the ground running, to use an axiom, and be able to ramp up quickly into the workforce. There's a lot of issues that are affecting the animal health world right now. There's regulation, as I just mentioned earlier, and the importance of regulation. There's a lot of industry volatility, a lot of consolidation going on. There's about 3 or 4 big companies that control about 60 to 70% of the industry, and that continues to be a big impact. Through the digital age, the knowledge and understanding of products and product usage, both in companion and pets, but also in the food animal, is increased dramatically because everything and every information is available online. The global food needs and the global food supplies are critical because as the population grows in the world from 6 billion to 9 billion, those people all need to eat, and animal protein is a key important part of that supply of food for them, and animal health plays a key role of that. Competition for resources in human and animal markets are getting more and more difficult. What that means is that the skill basis and the knowledges that are required to effectively operate these larger and growing businesses can be used interdisciplinary between the different markets of human companies and animal health. And being well prepared in that environment is an advantage of somebody that comes through the programs, either the MAB or the Animal Health Management Certificate. So now I turn it back over to Deborah to finish the presentation and talk about some of the details. And I thank you very much for your time and in coming into this webinar today.
Thank you, Paul. So beginning this fall, we will offer the Animal Health Management Certificate. There are 7 courses in the certificate, and it does comprise 20 hours of graduate credit that we believe will equip animal health professionals to make better economic decisions for their companies and practices, kind of how Paul was discussing earlier. The courses will include finance, regulatory aspect of drug and vaccine development in the animal health industry, and managing organizational behavior. There's also a sales and marketing class that Paul spoke about briefly, and also there is a advanced strategy program, advanced strategy course that we have tailored again for the animal health sector. You would be on campus for 2 shortened campus sessions, so that means 2 or 3 days, which would include the orientation session and will allow you to network with the group of students with whom you'll be taking courses. The certificate is designed to be completed in 1 year, but you do have the opportunity to accelerate the certificate or stretch it out, whichever works best for you in your current situation. The estimated cost of the certificate is roughly $16,000. That does include all books, materials, and access to the learning management system for courses with the same award-winning faculty that you would be working with here on campus. 18 of the 20 certificate hours would eventually transfer into the MAB program if you wanted to choose to take up the full program at the end of the certificate. You have that option. You can also leave with the certificate. That is a full credential as well. In addition, if that is even a little bit too much for you to bite off at this time, we do have a number of individual course options that you can take independently and that I would be happy to visit with you about. Both of most of the course options that are listed here on this slide and that I can talk with you about would transfer either into the certificate or into the full MAB program, whichever you wanted to do. If you decide that the MAB program is something that you'd like to consider in the animal health cohort, we do have a few requirements for admission. One is a bachelor's degree, a 4-year degree, professional work experience of 2 years or more, some computer literacy, although we will walk you through the different pieces that you will need to be successful in the program, and then undergraduate courses in accounting, statistics, macro, microeconomics, or agricultural economics. We can substitute genetics for the statistics course. So definitely accounting, a basic entry-level accounting course, a basic statistics or genetics course, and then one of those other 3 courses, macro, micro, or agricultural economics. Regardless of if you choose to further your education with us with the MAB program, there are some questions we really encourage students to ask, both of us and of other programs that they're looking at or other professional development opportunities they're considering. The first would be, what is the track record of success? The second would be, where do students and graduates go when they've completed the degree? We encourage you to ask about amount of time and the time commitment, as well as how time crunched you will be during the program. Are faculty willing to work with you if you're traveling for work or things like that? In what formats are the course materials available? We'd also encourage you to request to speak to someone who is currently in the program or completing the degree. We'd also ask you and encourage you to try to talk with someone who has completed the degree, not just the individual from the university, but someone who's completed the program. And then we'd also encourage you to really consider, if you're working with a company right now that does offer tuition reimbursement, find out if the program or the certificate program you're looking at pursuing, if that staff is familiar with working with human resources departments to provide some of that training material to people who want to participate there. As far as answering those questions for you, we covered a few of them here in the program that we've provided today. Most of our students are working full-time while they do the program, so you'll be working right alongside others who are in a similar situation to yourself. The majority of them are either able to transition on to an advanced role within their own company or are able to leave their company and move to a different area, usually with some kind of an advancement in their career associated with that. And I'd be happy to put you in contact with some of our students for whom that has been the case, and here, so you can hear from them firsthand how they chose to leverage the MAB. The time commitment is going to depend on the course that you're in. On average, our students spend about 10 to 15 hours a week on outside course material, whether that be watching the pre-recorded lectures, participating in the once-a-week recitation sessions, or completing reading and homework for the program. That is a little bit different depending on where you are within the coursework. Sometimes you may have courses that overlap by a week or so, and so you may be devoting a little bit more time during that time frame. And then all of our material is available through our learning management system online. We do, for most courses, have a set of pre-recorded lectures that you're able to access at your convenience, either online or through the podcast that we will provide you for each course. We also send you a binder of material for each course. Usually that consists of the slides that the faculty members will cover in the pre-recorded lectures, as well as homework and any additional readings. In addition to that, we do have one recitation session a week while each class is in session. So for the finance class, you would come in once a week for a recitation session with Dr. Featherstone. During that time, he usually goes over the homework assignment, provides some additional instruction, and if folks are struggling, we do have the ability for him to be able to grab a student's screen off of their computer and work through the actual problems in the Excel format to kind of help them figure out how to fix their issues or figure out how to better do the homework. So some pretty unique opportunities there for coursework. As I mentioned, I'd be more than happy to put you in touch with someone who is currently doing the Master of Agribusiness program, either in our Heritage cohort or our Animal Health cohort. And we have quite a number of alumni, as you may imagine, over the course of 20 years who would also be more than happy to visit with you. We are very familiar with working with companies on tuition reimbursement, have provided those for students over the last 20 years and have changed the format in which we're providing those to mirror the student and company needs. So we'd be more than happy to work with you on that. This is our website. I encourage you to go out and take a look if you've not already. There's a link to our program booklet and some more information about the certificate program. Also, my contact information is listed there at the bottom, both my email and my phone number. If you'd like to give me a call, I'd be more than happy to talk through any additional questions you have. But the beauty of a webinar is that you have live time right now to go ahead and ask questions if you have any. So I'm going to turn it back to Lauren so that you can facilitate any of those chats.
Thanks, Deborah. We hope you guys found this webinar informational, and if there's something you have more questions on about the program, I know Deborah and Paul are happy to answer those. If you have questions about your application or coming to campus, where Olathe is for that week when you're here, we're happy to help you that way as well. So feel free to reach out. My email address is laurenv@ksu.edu. If you'd like an application fee waiver for attending today's webinar, we're happy to offer you that as well, and you can email me directly, same email address, laurenv@ksu.edu, and we'll get you squared away ready for the fall. So are there any questions today that you would like to ask? If you have any questions, please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen there, and you can go ahead and type those in and we will answer those for you. Let's see, we have our first question here. Deborah, are there any scholarships people should think about, or tuition reimbursement, or how do people usually do the financing?
Sure, that's a great question. We do have some scholarships that are available. There's one specifically for producers, and then one for anyone working in food, agriculture, and animal health. These are both funded by the alumni of our MAB program. So the award amount varies every year, but there are applications available out on the website for those too. If you wanted to email me directly, I would be more than happy to get you a copy of that application site and material. A lot of our students who do the full MAB program do leverage financial aid, federal aid right now to cash flow it. We have several different billing mechanisms that we're able to work through with you on that side. And then some of our students, about 62% of our students are using some kind of tuition reimbursement from their employer. Now, most employers will choose to pay that once a course is complete. Some of them will do it on a sliding scale. So if you get an A in the course, you get a full tuition reimbursement, a B is a lesser amount, and so forth. We do see that from time to time with companies. But the big thing is being able to cash flow and make sure that you're able to make those payments and commitments to the university. So we're happy to work with you. We have an option where you can pay monthly. We also have an option where you can pay upfront in one lump sum at the beginning of the year. And if you leverage financial aid, we will bill you by the semester in accordance with federal regulations so that that financial aid feeds directly into your account. That's an excellent question.
Let's see, our next question has come in. If you have a similar agribusiness degree already, but you'd like to earn the certificate, could previous coursework be applied to the certificate units required?
It kind of depends on a couple of factors: the age of the coursework, what the actual courses are. I'd need to take a look at your transcript, and then we would need to determine how they were used to qualify for additional credentialing in other places. So that would be an excellent one-on-one question. I'd be happy to answer individually for that person.
Yeah, so if you have that, each kind of transfer credit is evaluated on a case-per-case basis, so you could email Deborah directly and she can answer that for you more specifically about what it is you've done and what it applies to the courses. Is tuition charged at in-state or out-of-state tuition, and is also, is it per credit or block tuition per semester?
That will depend on if you're doing the certificate or the full MAB program. So, and the part that is different is how you're getting billed if it's block or by semester. So there is no difference between the in-state or out-of-state tuition or international or domestic tuition. We are an annual program, so we charge a flat rate that is built to include your books and all of your materials and things like that, access to the LMS, everything. So that's a pretty clear-cut answer there. As far as how you are billed and when you are billed, it kind of depends on if you're using federal financial aid. If that's the case, then we'll bill you by semester. If you are completing the certificate or you're completing the MAB program, we will bill you in an annual rate, but I can work with you to break that down into smaller payments if that's what you need to do. And the university has a financing mechanism right now without a financing charge. So basically, it's just setting up a payment plan with us.
Great. Let's see. I don't see any other open questions at this time, but as we've said, you're welcome to reach out to any one of the three of us about the program or just the process of applying. And if you reach out to someone and they're not the right person, they'll send you to the right person. So we're happy to help and offer you campus tours or go over the program in more detail with your specific needs as well. So if we don't see any other questions, I will let Deborah and Paul sign off, and we'll wish you a great afternoon and hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Lauren, and thanks everybody for coming to the webinar today.